Hello, welcome to Common Hawthorne. I'm Kenneth, and I'm doing a video response to Simon at the Hermit's Cave and his hashtag TarotTubersAtoZ. A fun get to know you thing. I've already watched a few, but I hope not enough to ruin my own, not to be unduly influenced. So A, age, I'm 60. B, book favorite, Little Big or The Fairies' Parliament by John Crowley. It was a World Fantasy Award winner. C is for career. When I was younger, I wanted to be a plant breeder, but what I actually am now is an editor, a magazine editor specifically. D, dream. I would love to live someplace where I could have chickens and geese. If I could have goats, that would make it even better. E for essential item, that would be glasses. If I miraculously had good sight, I might say my phone, but in fact, my glasses are indispensable and have been for many years. Favorite RWS deck. So I'm answering this two ways. The strictly speaking RWS deck that is my favorite is the Smith-Waite Centennial Edition, which let me see if I can make sure this focuses. I like it because the colors aren't, the solid colors aren't solid, and they're kind of speckled. The color itself is a little less saturated than other versions, and so of the ones that I have, that's the one I like the best. It has this back. I have a very old, like from the 80s, just standard Rider-Waite Smith that has a the black and blue cross-hatched back, and I really hate those backs. So anyway, that's for a straight up Rider-Waite Smith. But for the clones, I really like, let's see if I can focus again. I got a new camera. I really like This Might Hurt. I love that Empress. The Hanged Man here is really, really great. I love this Fool. It's a very diverse deck, which is nice. One of my favorite Temperance cards. Nice back, shiny sides. Riffle Shuffle's pretty good. It's a little stiff Overhand Shuffle's pretty good. It's a little stiff for riffle shuffling, which is what I actually usually do. Where am I? Gee, gold or silver? Silver. Used to be gold, but no, actually not silver. I have surgical stainless. How about that? H, height, 6'2". I, ideal day, sleeping a little late, full breakfast, like, omelet, really nice home fries, bacon, tea brewed the right way, maybe a little walk, some reading during the afternoon, and a nap, going to a really nice restaurant and sitting at the bar where the bartender can recommend really nice craft cocktails, having a nice meal with the perfect wine, and some sort of really rich, small and rich dessert, maybe an after dinner drink. Where am I? Okay. Joke. I jokes aren't in my repertoire, but I did go look at other J words and decided I would share just my journal. It's a lectern. I got a couple stickers with the Numinous Tarot. I don't actually use it as a calendar at all, but I take notes on some spreads. I had a reading done by Kasha, a tarot map, so I took a picture of that. Some, printouts from different worksheets. So that's J. K, kids, none. Never wanted any. Living arrangements. I live alone with 2 cats. Am I out of focus again? There. Yes, so I live alone, but I do, except for 2 cats. A small studio apartment. Favorite Marseille deck. I really have not gotten into Marseille, but I saw a couple of people raving about the Marshmallow Marseille, and so I did buy that. I have Tom Benjamin. Tom Benjamin is one of the people who said that he really loved it. And I have his book, Tarot on Earth, and he recommends using a Pip deck or a Marseille deck, and specifically has this one in it as some of the illustrations. So on that recommendation, I got it. Nicknames, none. My mother, closest friends have all called me by my full name. There are people who don't, but it's not welcome. So I don't treat those like nicknames. Oddly, I have pseudonyms, a couple of online communities, pseudonyms from back when I was in my early 20s in San Francisco. I was a Sister of Perpetual Indulgence, and I had a sister name. So those names people have created nicknames out of, but not my own name, because it was I and the people in my family have never welcomed that. Oracle. I picked 2 Oracle decks too. So there's the Supra Oracle, which you might be, lovely box, little seal on the tuck box, and I really like the art on them. So the guidebook, it doesn't come with a little white book. There's a larger and very lovely guidebook that is well worth buying. And then I also couldn't not mention the Roots and Wings Pocket Oracle, which I got I don't think I really knew that there was a full-size one, and I certainly hadn't realized that the pocket one doesn't include all the cards that the large one does. But they feel great. It's nice that they're little. I mean, for some visual variety in a spread. And I really like those. O, P, passionate about. I'm passionate about reading. I love to read. Q, quote, only in silence the word, only in dark the light, only in dying life, bright the hawk's flight on the empty sky. It's by Ursula Le Guin. She uses it as the a little quote at the beginning of A Wizard of Earthsea, and it's attributed to a fictional work from within Earthsea, The Creation of Ea. Quote, relationship status, it's complicated. I'm mostly single, but I have a boyfriend. It's just that he lives in another country and he already has a husband. So It's very satisfying, but it is in fact complicated. Season, I would say late spring. I like everything about winter except the day length. And I like almost everything about summer except the heat. And so I'll go with late spring, especially for 20 years. I lived in nearly 20 years. I lived in Philadelphia, and the spring in the mid-Atlantic is just spectacular. It lasts a long time. It's very rich. All sorts of things grow there. So I would say spring. Tarot, first and last. Well, my first was either the Rider-Waite-Smith that I described with the cross-hatched back, or the Aquarian Tarot. This would have been in the 80s, and my latest is the Orion's Tarot, which indeed is also many of yours, most recent. Upset. What upsets me most? I really can't stand it when people say they want something, but then they are unable or unwilling to acknowledge what has to happen in order for what they want to occur. People often will say they want something and they understand what's needed and they refuse to do it, which is its own kind of upsetting. But what I really hate is when people say, I want this, and you go, okay, so let's do Y, and they'll go like, no, I mean, that's just, we weren't talking about that. Anyway, upset. Vlog, most proud of. It's a crappy early video called What Do I Want? And I'm proud of it because I've done 2 videos. The other one is even worse, the sound quality, where I had done a spread and decided I wanted to talk about it. So I'm not doing the live spread, but I lay out cards and describe my interpretation fairly live, and I'd like to be comfortable doing that more. Most popular from 31 Days of Tarot is the 5 top tarot decks of 2019. That is far and away the one of mine that's been viewed the most. Weakness, food. It's like definitely food. X-rated, something naughty I've done. Nothing I'd particularly like to share in public, so that gives you an idea that there's quite a range of possibilities. Remember, I said I was in my early 20s in San Francisco. Anyway, moving on. Yesteryear, best year or favorite year. Again, I'm going to do 2. In 1982, I moved to San Francisco. I was through with college. I was 22 or whatever. Moved to San Francisco, where I lived for 3 years, worked for big companies. It was amazing. And one that I can actually say specific stuff about, so probably really is my favorite year, is 2019, last year. I moved to Provincetown. I had a sabbatical. I turned 60. I made 2 trips abroad to Spain and to England to see my boyfriend and his husband. It was a great year. I mean, my sabbatical was in the summer, so I got paid, and I was living in Provincetown in the summer, and I didn't have to work. I mean, talk about those ideal days. Well, I had those. Zen. At times it's been knitting or crocheting, but I haven't been doing much of that lately. And reading is really a way. Sometimes just sitting. Lately I've been zoning out watching TarotTube, which I find kind of calming. If I need to collect myself during the day, since I've been living where I now live, one thing that I'll do is I'll walk out onto the deck. I'm on the second floor, and I'll walk to the back of the building, and I can look out over the Provincetown Harbor. So I can look at the water and the breakwater and the Cape Cod in the distance, both the very, very end of it where it curves all the way around, but also farther I can see the rest of Cape Cod. It just like it curls around where I live. And the sky is so big, and if there's wind, that's wonderful. If there's not, then there can be this stillness in the summer, not so still, but that right now is kind of the moments of Zen are doing that. So that's it with Simon's Tarot Tubers A to Z. Again, I'm Kenneth. Thanks for listening to all of this. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, please do. And I hope you'll come back. Thanks for visiting.